another edition of Frankie Say. My guest today, of course, is Struther Wand, Iraqi war veteran, Army, right? And you fought in Operation Iraqi Freedom.
2008, 2009.
So 2008, 2009 to when?
Well, that was the 1 year of the tour, and I was in service till 2013.
Okay, so you were in there for a while.
Yeah, 6 years.
Do you talk about it a lot?
Not really. If it's asked, I will, but it's not anything I go out of my way and talk about normally.
Were you in Iraq? I mean, the whole time. I mean, that was how does that work?
So, I mean, it was multiple flights in, very long flight, obviously, but we were permanent duty station was in Camp Arifjan, which is in just south of Iraq. And then we would be convoy security and long-haul truck missions. So we'd go up as far as north as Mosul and just all throughout Iraq, transporting like things and people. Midway through the tour, we switched over to a gun truck unit and we became convoy security. So then our kind of mission got ramped up a little bit there.
Are you, when you were over there, were you, was it an extremely nerve-wracking thing? Was it, when I say, so we're fighting a conflict, kind of an unauthorized war, but also authorized, I guess, because the commander-in-chief said that we're going to go in there and do that. And there's a lot of, I'm not some kind of war expert, but I know enough to be a little bit dangerous about how wars and conflicts work. So today is the anniversary of my biological father's passing. Today's September 17th, right? And so then this pod will probably air on the 18th or the 19th of September, of course. And essentially, my dad got drafted to Vietnam, got the Agent Orange on him, got the Agent Orange in his eye, got his eye removed. They gave him 6 months to live. He died when I was 10. And so like we felt really lucky that he was able to live that long, but he was drafted.
Yes.
You went of your own volition.
Yeah.
Why did you go?
I was playing football at Western Illinois University, playing college football when like I had the desire to go. It just something that overcame me and I was like, I need to do this. Like kind of, heart, God, country. Decided to do it and I'm actually glad I did because it has changed me as a person. But to not shed or to shed light on it, your father's situation and my situation are drastically different. Not just on the instance that he was forced and it was my own free will, but war compared to like you can't compare the two. Vietnam was its own thing. What we had was not Vietnam. So I have all the respect in the world for Vietnam veterans and World War veterans because it was drastically different.
Was it an overly stressful time for you to be over there, or was it I don't want to say pleasant. Okay, that's not the word I'm looking for. Was it great over there? Did you have a great time? Was it awesome? That's not what I'm asking. But my dad's experience in Vietnam was very bad. Yeah. He was in the jungle with M16s and mortar grenades. I mean, it was very bad. They had no idea where the enemy was. A lot of times he was more afraid of his own platoon than he was of the enemy. It was a terrible thing. My dad, before he passed away, told me a ton of different stories. Some were hilarious, and some were sinister, frightening, but the whole thing was terrible. The only time that he ever had a good time was when he was allowed to take a quick flight somewhere out of the area and go kind of party for a day or two. They would go on planes and go to someplace fun. Mm-hmm. And some of them are like, I can't even speak about some of the things that were going on. This is 70. Yeah. This is 1970 and part of 71. So, I mean, one time he got a chance to fly to Singapore for a weekend and had a great time in Singapore. But then he knew he was going to go back into the jungle. So, but what was it like over there? What was the general level of stress for you?
Like the motto that we kind of try to take every day by was complacency kills. The second you got comfortable was when you put yourself the most vulnerable. So you don't want to do that. Being inside the wire, i.e. like actually being inside Iraq, obviously you're heightened alert and ready for a lot more. Being back home at like Camp Arifjan, it wasn't that. But the biggest threats, I mean, we faced were IEDs while we were traveling and then incoming mortar attacks, essentially. So there was times where you'd be bunked down inside Iraq and you hear some booms going pretty close and you got to get up and run or go to somewhere else. And like the rule of thumb is though, if you hear it, it's already past you. Like if it's going to hit you, you're not going to hear it. So
one of the reasons why you and I are talking today is because you and I have spent a little while in the green room talking about a lot of the things that have been going on in the past week. So a week ago today, something really big happened in America, and when you talk about like feeling vulnerable, there are some people that are feeling very vulnerable right now on both sides, and I'm talking about the Charlie Kirk killing. I dare say it was an assassination. Do you feel like that is a politically correct, appropriate word, calling it an assassination?
from all things that we've heard transpire thus far, I would say that's a safe assumption.
Okay. I've been hearing some people say that it wasn't an assassination because he wasn't a political figure. What do you say to that?
I don't think you have to be a political figure to be assassinated.
Okay. So, I mean, Dr. King was
not a political figure. He was a leader of a movement.
Right.
Much like what Charlie Kirk was doing and trying to, I'll say, root out the indoctrination in universities. That was kind of like his main focal point, plus implementing God and talking about God on his message.
See, there lies in the problem. So you're on U.S. campuses, universities across the country, and somebody is invoking God. So that tends to be pretty slippery, kind of a problem for, I don't know, maybe like an unhealthy percentage of the population.
Yeah.
So do you think there's an issue with us taking Dr. King and Charlie Kirk and comparing them? Is that short-sighted? Is that on the money?
I don't think it's short-sighted per se. I just think that if you're going to do that, you need to like tread carefully, sort of. I mean, what Dr. King was marching for and doing was, I mean, huge in the development of the United States, like in the U.S. Yeah. And obviously Charlie Kirk's on a mission too as well, but his is more faith-based and all that, which is equally as important because with faith comes morals, with morals comes respect and love, and without morals, you just have a lawless society.
I agree. So the Dr. King, just to put it out there, I'm a pretty big Dr. King fan. Dr. King, the actual day in January where we celebrate Dr. King's birthday is, generally speaking, right around the same time as my birthday. So my birthday is January 19th. And without fail, the holiday that the entire country celebrates for Dr. King, I mean, people get days off.
Correct.
I mean, the banks close.
It's a national holiday.
It's a national holiday. It's a very big deal. So I don't know this for a fact, but I mean, Dr. King, the national day of celebration is either a day after my birthday or a day before. Is it January 20th? I'd have to look it up. But the point is, around my birthday, I generally know that I'm going to get probably a day off. Because and I kind of celebrate that as my birthday, but knowing it's Dr. King's birthday and being a pretty big fan of his. But he said something really profound, I think, at the time, and it still makes a lot of sense to me. And what do you think about this? So he said, everybody knows the famous Dr. King quote. Everybody knows. I'm looking at my kids, I'm looking at me, I'm looking at my wife, I'm looking at my loved ones, and I think that all of us need to be judged on the content of our character.
100%.
And not on the color of skin. Well, at the risk of sounding biased, I think that's a really good thing. Like, I'm super biased. It goes back to this idea of why Charlie Kirk was killed, why he was killed. And there's a lot of people that think that he was racist. There's a lot of people that think that Charlie Kirk was bigoted. There's a lot of people who, I mean, I'm looking at the interwebs, and there are people that think that he had it coming to him. What do you think about that?
I think that they were, so a lot of things are kind of meme driven now. Like you get just the headline of it and you don't dive all the way in. I feel if you actually did the due diligence to like take a step back, watch some of his like interviews and like his YouTube channels, you'd understand that his message was more, I'm going to challenge you to like think outside of the box. I'm going to challenge you to hear a different perspective, and then you try to prove me wrong. And then he would also implement like the biblical verses and stuff like that. Like, I don't see it as him being bigoted. I see it with, in today's society, it's kind of going that way. You don't agree with somebody, so there automatically must have to be something wrong with them. They have to be racist or bigot or, you know, neo-Nazi, just because you don't agree with like one thing that they've said.
Do you ever notice, you know, you can make so many emotional deposits into a person. So you're married.
Correct.
To the great Dr. Wand over at Quincy Medical Group. By the way, your wife's awesome person.
Amazing person.
Love being around her. She's fantastic. So congratulations.
Amazing physician, amazing mom.
So shout out to Dr. Wand. I noticed that, so you and I are married, and have you ever noticed that you can make scores, hundreds, thousands of emotional deposits, meaning you can say nice things to your wife. You can say nice things to your wife every single day. And you could do things for your wife or a friend or a family member. I'm talking about emotional deposits, things that make them feel good. Mm-hmm. But if you make one big emotional withdrawal, have you ever, you're married, okay? Yeah. I'm married. We've had relationships with friends, right? You ever have like deep relationships where you put all that work in and then one slip and it all comes crumbling down. It kind of reminds me, this is what I feel about the Charlie Kirk thing. I don't think he was a radical.
I don't see
Was he a radical?
No, I think he was driven by faith and he believed in it, and he was being as Christ-like as he possibly could be.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I take a look at the whole idea of being Christ-like. I have never met really anybody. This is a strong statement. I don't think I've ever met anybody that can be Christ-like for very long. I see quick little insights.
100%.
Like, you know, so like my wife, a lot of times is Christ-like. There's small pieces of me where I can be Christ-like. When my kids are behaving and they're sharing and they're in the back of the car and they're not yelling at each other.
It's quiet. Yeah.
There's like little moments that people can be Christ-like, but I have never met anybody that has been Christ-like all the time.
Well, it's impossible.
And I don't think Charlie Kirk was Christ-like.
100% not.
All the time. Did he ever slip up? I want to see video. I'm scouring the internet.
Yep.
I've asked friends before this pod, because I knew you and I were going to talk about the Charlie Kirk stuff, and I know that you and I are going to try to hit the 48th and State thing here in a second.
Oh,
maybe towards the end.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Tyler from Nutrition HQ.
Awesome dude.
We'll talk about him. We'll talk about these biscuits, and we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the unbelievable construction that came out of nowhere at 40th and State. We'll talk about those things. But first, you and I, Struther, are here to talk about this. This is a big thing for us.
Okay.
Okay? The Charlie Kirk thing, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad did it bother you?
9.
Yeah.
9.
So a 10 would be the death of a family member? Is that a 10?
To put it in perspective, and I won't just say the assassination of Trump, but the assassination of a president, period, or yes, a close family member. Like somebody with that much authority that would dictate my life that much, yes.
Part of what I want to get into, I want to dig deep and find out why people I really don't want to divide people into left and right.
Correct.
I really don't want to do that.
We shouldn't do that right now in society. We
shouldn't
need to
do
do
it.
the exact opposite.
There's something extremely linear about this particular fight, this philosophical argument, the national discussion. There's something it seems very linear. And I look at most politics as kind of more spherical and more 3D.
Okay.
You know, when you're taking a look at the XY Cartesian axis of left and right and authoritarian to libertarian to progressive, and you know what I'm talking about? You ever see those political compass
that
maps?
or more like a bell curve, like whatever's, you know, like the average versus your extremes, both on the left and right.
One thing that's really bothering me, I have friends that think that Charlie Kirk, like, they were kind of like, they're like, yeah, I mean, he kind of had it coming to him. Like, he's a bigot. So, like, I'm sorry, but sometimes bigots catch bullets.
Yeah, no.
I know people who have said this, okay?
No, that's sad, though. I mean, nobody deserves to die. And not even being a violent person. I would challenge them to find me one shred of evidence where he was violent towards somebody or called for violence in any, like, talk that he had with anybody.
He went out and had the microphone, and he would see somebody that maybe looked different from him.
Correct.
Maybe was trans, purple hair, all the jewelry, all of the whatever, however you want to classify. We're trying not to judge books by their covers, right?
Yep, 100%.
That's just, I mean, I understand why people do it, but he would look at them and he would say, "Hi, what's your name?" They would say their name. And he would look at them and he would say, "Nice to meet you. What would you like to talk about?" And he put the microphone down.
Yep.
Okay. I have to tell you, who else in the country on the other side of that, who is a prominent political pundit, figure, congressperson, who did that? There's got to be somebody. We have to be able to, like, Google this, figure this out. Who on the other side did that? Said, "I want to talk about it. I want to talk to you about it. Here's my opinion. Prove me wrong. Here's your chance." Do you know of anybody? I cannot think of anybody.
You got me on that one.
I don't know of anybody that did that. He did that.
But that was what was different about him.
He was different. When I found out that he got shot, who called me? I think Tanner Freiberg called me, like in just the middle of the day. Yeah, Tanner just calls me. He goes, Charlie Kirk's been shot. I go, what? What? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, is he dead? And then Tanner said something along the lines of, I don't want to get Tanner in trouble in speaking out of school, but he said something like, it's really bad. It's very, very bad.
Yeah, yeah.
And I go, okay. So he sent me a video. I got off the phone with Tanner, and I opened up my phone, and I saw the video, and I was thinking, first of all, to myself, I'm like, oh boy. I mean, I was very, I got to tell you, I was kind of hurt by this. I was personally hurt by this.
Yeah.
Because is it bad to admit, like, some of my political ideologies? Are we allowed to do this? I got to tell you, I screenshot something the other day. It says, and this is like a meme, something. Can I read it to you?
Yeah, read it.
In 2024, I found out how many people would celebrate someone murdering a president. In 2025, I found out how many people would celebrate someone murdering me. Well, that's dramatic. That's dramatic, first of all. It's like no one is actively trying to murder me.
Right.
But I will say this. When someone is saying that he was a bigot, if I agree with a lot of what he says, maybe not 100%, because I don't agree with 100% of what anybody says.
Correct.
I mean, you're a good friend of mine, but if you and I
disagree.
If you and I are in a room for 3 days, if we talk about 1,000 topics, if you say you like chocolate and I say I like vanilla, then we're gonna be at 99%.
Yep.
We won't be at 100.
Nope.
But I'm gonna go off and say, and I'm gonna think about your percentage.
But here's the key.
Yeah.
I won't dislike you because of it.
Over chocolate and vanilla?
Of us just disagreeing.
What if I give you my...
Oh, you know why though?
Yeah.
Because I know you as a person. I know your content overall.
See?
That's the difference.
So here's the thing. On the interwebs, on the social medias, on the Facebooks, on the Twitters, there are these faceless people with Twitter handles, with profile pics, and people are arguing on social media. Now, there's a lot of people who don't use social media, okay? But I use social media, obviously. You know this. Obviously, I have seen you over the years before we were friends, I would see you say.
We're friends? Are we friends?
Are we friends on Facebook?
We're friends?
In real life, we are.
I got that honor?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but so, wait, are we friends on Facebook?
I think so.
Okay, but for a long time we weren't.
Probably not.
But a long time ago, we were not.
Oh, no.
It's not because we were enemies. We had not met.
We weren't acquaintances.
But you would write things, and I would be like, yeah, that's right. Who's that guy? And then, you know, but here's the point, though. What would happen if you would say 50 things in a month, and I would agree with it, and then the one time you say something that I don't agree with it, I challenge you in an online forum, and I'm like, no, man, that's not right, and here's why, and you go, no, I have a difference of opinion. So now we're challenging each other back and forth, and at the end of it, we hate each other. This happens all the time.
It does. That whole we'll just agree to disagree and act like this didn't happen type deal, that doesn't really exist anymore, unfortunately.
Well,
and people get caught up on the one thing, and that one thing changes their whole perspective on individuals.
You and I can decide to build a house together, and we can use all the right wood, all the right drywall.
We're going to fight a lot on that, though.
We're going to fight a lot because I'm going to put the bathrooms in certain. You're like, why do you? And so you've got you've got good taste, and you're going to want to make it very extremely nice, and I'm going to want to do more of a bare bones operation because we're restricted by cash or whatever the situation is. But here's my point. It might take you and I a couple of years to build this house.
Yeah.
Do you know how fast we can burn it down?
Is it all wood?
It's all wood, man.
Oh, half hour.
Half hour. All you do, you start from the top, gasoline, highly combustible liquid, go through all the bedrooms, splash gasoline, throw a match on that thing. Let's say it takes us 2 years to build the house. You and I can burn it down in an afternoon.
Yeah.
And that is what I feel like has really happened. I think some things
Society as a whole is trending that way.
Yeah. It's because this guy said a bunch of stuff. He talked about God. That's rule number one, is you got to be really careful. There's a lot of people that don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear about the God stuff. They start talking about abortion. People don't want to talk about it.
Correct.
People start talking about the trans stuff. They don't want to talk about it. They want to talk about the topic of DEI comes up. They don't want to talk about it. So after all this stuff all of these things that this guy says, the people, and I'm going to be linear here, I'm going to say left and right for a second.
Yep.
Because later on we can talk about if this is truly a battle between good and evil, or if it's just a battle between people like it always has been, or if it's a battle between Republicans and Democrats, or what are the holistic politics in this topic. What's my point? My point is, if I agree with 80% of what Charlie Kirk said, and some of my friends think that he's a bigot, and I use the associative principle and say, if you think he's a bigot, but I agree with him, am I a bigot?
I mean, guilt by association would make you think that they're thinking that about you.
Well, this is how people get into arguments, and this is how people. I had a friend who wrote something recently. He said, "You know what? I had a lot of suspicions about some of the people, and now all my suspicions have been confirmed." Meaning, all the people I interact with, my neighbors, my friends, we've been talking. I kind of thought that person was a bad person.
Yeah.
But this guy's really upset that Charlie Kirk is gone. So my suspicion about my neighbor across the street, I thought he was kind of like a borderline bad person, somebody I don't really want to get along with.
Right.
Or somebody that it's not that I don't want to get along with them, but I just don't want to be friends with that person because I think that person's ideology is so far from mine.
Okay.
My friend is saying, my suspicions have been confirmed. And he's being real vague about it. But I know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
He's talking about this whole thing. What is your general takeaway right now? How do you feel about things going forward in terms of what you see in the news regarding this?
Well, I would say one of two things would normally happen from a situation like Charlie Kirk. One, and it would be reminiscent of September 11th. We would come together as a country and unite and be, I mean, I don't know if you remember, I'm sure you remember, but after, like a month after the World Trade Center collapsed, I felt like America's never been more America. Like
9/12.
Yeah, even that soon. But fast forward to Charlie Kirk, we would all hope that would be again what would happen. But a lot of the media and everything, they kind of stuck to their guns. You know, like they were very biased and partial on what they would report about this, and they kept the division going instead of letting it unify us. And I feel like it's going to take a long time to recover. I mean, is it doable? I hope so, because our country needs it to be doable. But I think there's a lot of division, and it's so ingrained that it's just going to be a hard-fought battle to come back.
You know, AOC, I remember when she first came on the scene. And I know, like, you know, the Massachusetts bartender. I remember her coming on the scene. And
by the way, worth $5 million now.
Is she?
Yeah.
She swears she's not. She
Look
swears she's not.
Look it up.
Is that what the interwebs say?
Look up AOC's net worth.
All right. I wonder if it's right. I'll have to look it up. 5 million. You know, she will say that she's not. You know, there's something kind of, you know, one of the most, in my opinion, one of the most consistent politicians in the world is Bernie Sanders. One of the most consistent.
He came out and said what he wants, and he has stuck to it.
I'm going to say something nice about Bernie Sanders. That's not a guy I would vote for. He's one of the guys that, and I think AOC is a Bernie Sanders. I think she is the successor to Bernie Sanders, in my opinion. I think she is a, you know, when they say democratic socialist.
Would you put her further than Bernie, like more extreme than Bernie, or do you think she's kind of in line, lockstep with Bernie, and like where she sees and how her policies would follow?
I generally feel that Bernie and AOC are in general lockstep.
Okay.
I feel like they are generally a postmodern Marxist, democratic socialist. Do I think they're communist? You didn't ask that question. I'm throwing that in there. Do I think they're communist? I think that they're communist light.
Okay.
Like, I think that, you know, like that Democratic mayoral candidate, the Mamdani, Mamdani, good-looking dude, well-spoken. Oh my gosh, he says incredible things. He's electric. I mean, beat the pants out of Cuomo, which I guess wouldn't be that hard to do. But
say in today's environment, not too hard.
But I'm getting somewhere here. So my point of bringing up AOC is I was kind of gleefully trying to predict an AOC Charlie Kirk head-to-head national election someday. Now, that would be really hard to do, maybe, because Charlie Kirk never held a political office before, but also never did Trump. You're talking about the fact that Trump has done what he's done means that the gloves are off and anything can happen in U.S. politics.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
I mean, we've
well, unless you don't have money, you have to have money.
Yes.
There is some gloves still, but
AOC didn't come from money. I mean, you're saying she's
got to
worth
work
$5 million.
She's got to work her way up the ranks, though, as well. She's not going to just jump in the ring and become president.
I think the passing of Charlie Kirk, the shooting of the death of Charlie Kirk, I feel like I personally was completely robbed of some future event that really bothers me. Charlie was 31. I think Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is middle 30s?
I would say close.
Is she 34, 35? Was she 29 when she got elected?
You might know that more than me. I don't know.
How old is AOC? Let's see what it says. 35 years old.
But to go off of what you're saying, to put it kind of like a timeline of events, if you will, 2024, 2028 is Trump. 2028 to 2036, if I could predict the future, is going to be J.D. Vance.
Well, he's going to, yeah.
After Vance, I think would have came Charlie Kirk. Or at least he would have ran.
Well, think about all the work that Charlie Kirk would have put in.
Correct. He would have earned his stripes, if you will.
He would have. So AOC is old enough to be president now.
Yeah.
You don't have to be 35. I mean, the prerequisites, hold on, the prerequisites for being president of this great nation is 35 years old and you have to be born here. You don't have to have a degree.
Yeah.
Charlie Kirk didn't have a college
He didn't have a degree.
He had an honorary degree from Liberty U, but he did not have an unofficial one. AOC is absolutely qualified. Can I use a qualifier? By the Constitution.
Yeah.
The Constitution says she's qualified. I'm just saying, like, I am not going to get to see Charlie Kirk anymore. And I'm going to have to rely on other people to step up. And it's not going to do it. There's nobody really at all. I heard Ben Shapiro is going to kind of continue this. But you know what? Charlie Kirk was against a lot of the things that were going on. Like, Charlie Kirk was not necessarily a pro-Israel guy.
Yeah.
There is some conspiracy theory right now that kind of alleges that it's no surprise that Charlie Kirk was kind of speaking out against Netanyahu and kind of like speaking like poorly against the Israeli, the IDF, for leveling Gaza. Charlie Kirk didn't like that. He did not like to see that genocide. But, by the way, AOC doesn't like it either, right? Because she's pro-Palestine. But Charlie Kirk wasn't pro-Palestine. He was saying things kind of against Israel.
Yeah.
And people are saying, well, that's not what Ben Shapiro's doing. That's not what J.D. Vance is doing. That's not what Trump is doing. He deviated. This guy had cojones. He thought something and he would say it. I don't believe that Charlie Kirk was beholden to any one person or any one party at all. He would straight up go against. So again, we're in this situation where he's an anomaly.
It was based on his moral values that he saw fit. And that's what he would talk about, like what he thought was just and right. And obviously you go over to Gaza or whatever and you see innocent people dying, any person of faith would probably say that's a bad thing. It doesn't mean you're picking sides necessarily, but losing life over there is losing life at the end of the day. And could it have been prevented? Could it have been stopped? Is there any ramifications that we could have done or anything that we could have done to assist it? Probably not. It's a biblical war that's been going on for the beginning of time, but I could see why he would not like it. I mean, taking a step back, not just being ingrained on a side. Yeah,
I don't see anybody picking up where he left off now. His wife. Did you see that video?
It was rough. I did.
So I can't really watch those kinds of things. I did watch.
I'm a sensitive guy.
Are you? You're not that sensitive.
I'm a sensitive guy.
Are
It
you?
got me. I had some tears.
Really?
Yeah.
So what's her name? Erica?
Erica.
Erica Kirk. I did not watch that whole thing. I watched the first 7 minutes. There's some tearjerker stuff in there, but I mean, I don't want to say that she can't do it. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that she can't pick up the mantle and do it. I'm not, because I don't know her. I can't predict the future.
Can you imagine though? Like I saw a comment throughout all the social media posts, and it said, "You can't get KKK without Erica Kirk because she has 3 Ks in her name." And this is right after she witnessed, with her children, Charlie Kirk get assassinated. That level of mentality, and to let yourself think that and then to type it for the world to see, we're, as a society, we're somewhere almost incomprehensible.
Do you think, this is a question, not a statement, it's a question. Do you think the person who wrote that about Erica Kirk, do you think that person is pro-life or pro-choice?
Pro-choice.
Duh. That is so, you can absolutely figure out where everybody stands on everything when you talk about life and the sanctity of life. Now, there is a margin of error. There is probably a 10 to 15% margin of error where you've got somebody giving their opinion and you will be wrong. Like sometimes people throw you curveballs. You know, so for example, let's say somebody is pro-choice, but then they tell you that they're deeply Catholic. It's like, whoa, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
Like how, I don't even understand.
How do those
How,
intertwine?
I don't understand how you could be like, I don't want to say even Christian, because Christian is not, there's Christian and then there's Catholic, but like Charlie Kirk was way more Christian than I am.
Same.
Okay?
Same.
He's spitting the ancient texts right out of his head.
Yes.
He's a deeply educated man. And to be honest with you, I am not, as much as I really don't want to put labels on myself like, oh, I am a Christian. I don't really talk like that. I'm okay talking that way about Charlie Kirk, but he was a deeply Christian man. Like his faith was unbelievable.
Correct.
Mine, I'm very sad to say, this is going to bother me if my mother's watching, that my faith is not where Charlie Kirk's was. It's just not there. It's high up.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know there's a creator. Listen, Struther, if this is a program, if this is all a computer simulation,
Okay.
okay, is there a programmer?
I'll do some Bible studies here and there, and a couple studies. The things that we talk about, it kind of sends me to the Matrix. I'm dead serious, because you have the designer, like the creator, and then you have like your Neo, Morpheus, and all that, and those all kind of if you look into it symbolically, kind of become persons of the cloth, or like Bible verses or stories.
Yeah, so like Morpheus would be kind of like John the Baptist.
Yes.
And Neo would be Christ.
Yes.
Trinity would be Mary Magdalene.
I didn't get that far. Well, but there are some similarities. Like I've drawn that conclusion before, like, huh. But I'm a movie guy, and not so much anymore. Not
Did you like
since
The Matrix?
I did. I like any series, I kind of got tuned out after like 2 or 3, but yeah, I did.
I didn't. I could care less about the second one and the
Now,
third one.
have you ever seen the movie V for Vendetta?
Yes.
Don't you think we're kind of there right now? If there was a movie to kind of reflect on and be like, wow, that's kind of where we're at.
So I saw that movie in the theater by myself, and I was drinking.
No, so you don't remember much.
So yeah, and I was really tired. I remember it being a good movie, and I know that I need to go see it again and get a clearer picture, but I don't have a good grasp of that movie.
You're going to have to revisit that movie.
I'm going to have to. So hold on. So V for Vendetta, is there like a ton of violence in the streets, or is it more of a...
It's an authoritarian takeover is what it is.
Okay.
And then one person single-handedly like kind of getting the citizens involved and then kind of throwing a revolt against it. And it was the death of a little girl that sparked the final straw.
Okay. Boy, I don't know the plot line of V for
You
Vendetta.
need to rewatch it. And then look at all the media biases and the media control that the movie implicates, and then kind of think of like today's world with our mainstream media and how they try to control the mind.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't know for there. I think there are pieces of it. I think there's pieces of that movie that are present. Some of the things that you're talking about, yes, we are there.
Yeah.
Some of like Atlas Shrugged, the novel by Ayn Rand. I think some of Atlas Shrugged there. The movie Idiocracy. There's pieces of Idiocracy that are kind of here too. There's things like being able to like pick up a device like this rectangular object.
Yeah.
A lot of people call so some people call this an iPhone, okay? But when you look at it, it's got more computing power than all of the Apollo missions combined, okay? I don't really look at this as a phone. I look at it as a supercomputer with a phone app.
Yep.
So if you take away the phone app, it's still one of the most powerful things in the world. But like this has a Star Trek feel to me.
But you know what's sad about what you're holding in your hand right there?
What?
It is now everybody's best friend. It's their significant other. It's their kids. Have you ever noticed? I mean, maybe hopefully your family's different, But whenever you're at a family function, Thanksgiving, Christmas, just sit back one day and just kind of look around the room and just see how many people are on their phone whenever it's supposed to be a shared family moment. Memories, stories, reflections.
This does happen at my wife's family gathering every year. I will be sitting there having a conversation with her family, and I'm looking around, and there's people, everybody's on their cell phones. I will literally be like, have you ever been at a table where everyone's on their phone but you?
No, because I'm usually on my phone.
Okay, you're one of those guys.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I do have a phone addiction. I have a phone addiction. Oh, so this is, I will be, my wife and I will put the kids to bed. Rachel and I will do the dishes, we'll clean the kitchen together. My wife will probably say that she does most of the cleaning and maybe I don't do as much.
I'd probably believe her.
Okay, I'd believe her. My wife is mostly right, mostly. But we'll be sitting in bed, we're just sitting there because we're winding down.
Real quick, does that sting for you when you have to say I was wrong to your wife?
No.
You can do it no problem?
No problem.
You're a good man.
Does that bother you?
That's a battle.
Why can't you say it wrong?
I don't know, maybe because she's a physician and I don't want to be wrong to
No,
her. I don't know. It's tough.
No,
those words don't come off my tongue very easy.
It doesn't come off my wife's tongue easily too. My wife, I don't think my wife's ever said she's wrong to me. She's mostly right, but also I'm mostly right. Together we're great. We're raising kids. We're doing the Lord's work. But that's really funny. But you need to look into yourself. It's not because she's a physician. Your wife is a badass, okay?
No, she is.
I'm just going to tell you right now.
She is.
You already know this.
Yes.
Everybody knows this about your wife, okay? That's the reason when I've been next to you and your wife during soccer games, and I've heard her, cheer for the team. I've heard you cheer for the team. I've seen some times when you've gotten really, really irritated. And I've seen some of the interactions between you and your wife. And there's times where I have seen you walk away, all the way down there, maybe to go to the bathroom, get a drink of water to cool down.
Yeah.
So I do think you're a smart man for doing that.
Yeah, you gotta take a step back, reset.
Yeah. Which, by the way, in those cases, I'm not saying your wife is right or wrong. I'm just saying all of us get in these situations with our wives, all of us men who are married to women get in a situation, and I can't speak for everybody else, I can just speak for men who are married to women.
Right.
There's 100%, you're always in the constant battle of, oh wow, everything's great, or everything's terrible.
Correct.
It's it's on one of those extremes or in the middle. But what I was going to say was, my wife and I put the kids to bed, and we're on our phones. We're on our phones.
Yeah.
So I don't want to. It's very personal. I don't want to
You're good.
I don't want to get too personal. But when you and your wife are alone, maybe you're sitting on the couch, whatever. Are you guys on your phones?
Me more than her, for sure.
Are you the one with the phone problem?
Yeah, for sure.
So if your wife was listening, she would say,
she's laughing right now. And
Okay.
she's saying, don't you dare say I have a phone problem.
Okay, yeah.
The only phone problem she has is fielding all the calls from a business perspective.
She has such a hard job.
She does.
She has such a hard job because not only is she a physician, but she's I feel like she's pretty high up in the org. I think she's very respected.
She is, and the thing, not in a bad way. She's, lack of better phrasing, she's married to her patients as much as possible. And that's what makes her an awesome physician. If she's in town, she's going to do the delivery if she can. That being said, she's on call 24/7.
Can I tell you something? This is really embarrassing. So, the very first time I met your wife, Dr. Katie Wand, I didn't know who she was. Okay, I didn't know that she was this relatively prestigious person in the community. I did not know that. I just think she's a soccer mom. Okay,
Yeah.
and she's very nice, and she's very, just fun to talk to.
But to be fair, that's how she wants it. She likes to have that break, if you will.
Well, yeah, so I remember the very first one or two times that I had the pleasure of speaking with her. I have no idea. And this is kind of funny. A lot of people just think that you're Dr. Wand's husband. In the moment, I just thought that she was Struther Wand's wife.
That's the feel-good moment for me, is the initial, and then everybody figures it out, and it's just like, oh, you're Dr. Wand's husband.
Oh yeah, because before I met her, I obviously I heard of her, especially since I've got a lot of friends who are docs. Like my physician is Dr. Kim. I know Dr. Brink. I know I just know lots of docs in the system, and so Wand comes up. Just, oh, Wand says this, and Wand did this, and this was good, and she did this, and she's kind of revered, and like her patients love her. But when I'm talking to her, I had no idea who she was. But when I figured it out, it was at one of our soccer games.
I can see that.
And you are in a good mood, but you're also really stressed out because the ref was terrible during one particular game. This is early spring.
Of last year?
Of early this spring.
Oh, early this spring, okay.
That's when I found out.
Okay.
A whole year after I should have.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there, and somebody said something about oh, Katie being an OBGYN or whatever, and whatever. I'm like, what? Oh my gosh! And I'm sitting right next to her. I'm like, I go, where do you work? And your wife goes, Quincy Medical Group. I go, I'm like, oh, you're Dr. Wand. I don't know. I don't know if she remembers this or not. She's like, yeah. And then a goal was scored, and then everything was lost in the moment. But I felt internally very stupid. I'm like, that's Dr. Wand. I haven't known that. But anyway, your wife's awesome. But good to know that you have a phone problem. Can we talk about the 48th and State thing? So there is a problem. So in Quincy, if you know about 48th and State, 48th and State. There's some construction. In full disclosure, you called me up a little while back, maybe a week ago, and you called me up.
Yep.
You said, have you seen the construction on 40th and State? To which I said, oh, yeah, like what, whatever.
No, but have you actually seen it?
No.
That's what I said to you on the phone.
You said, yeah, okay, there's construction, great. You said, do you know what's going on? And I said, no. And you said, well, and you went into this pleasant tirade.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you were saying smart things. You were saying intelligent things. You were saying, you put it in your own words. What do you think is really going on at 40th and State? Do you think it's a coup, conspiracy?
No, I think.
What's going on?
So I've phone problem, right? So I've put my opinions on social media, and I've gotten to a back and forth with a county board member. So we were talking about it, chatting it up, and he's telling me, well, this is, like a 2019 approval thing. Like this has been okayed since 2019. Because my question was, who approved the plans? Did you guys vote on it as a board or whatever? And he said this was 2019. I asked him, was this before the roundabout discussion then? Because my biggest hiccup with it is it's kind of under the guise of traffic flow problem. But we cut some of the road out and do a bump in, which unofficially gets rid of the legal right turn lane that's going eastbound on 48th Street. So that would, help the flow of traffic. And I'm in my head, I'm thinking, we're spending $1.2 million out there. Why can't we just paint 2 lines on the road, make it an official right turn lane, and then call it good? But then it got into, well, there's parking on that side of the road, parking to an open field. It's just an open field over there.
Wait, okay. The intersection of 40th and State, what part of the road is parking?
From 48th to 36th, all the way down to, all the way down State.
You're talking about on State?
Yep, all the way down State,
on
both sides of the road.
sides of the street?
Both sides of the road.
There's parking available on both sides of the street?
It's designated parking on both sides of the road.
Okay, because the road is so wide, it can handle it?
Apparently. That's how it was handed over.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, I don't know,
But we can't give up 150, 200 feet of it and not have parking there and do a turn lane? To an open field, mind you.
We haven't said the R word yet. We have not said the R word.
I did once.
Did you just say it?
Well, when I was talking about it was the original plans
Pre-R
were
word?
pre-R word.
Yeah, the R word is roundabout.
Yeah.
But it's like Voldemort. It's like the word that you can't say.
I threw it in there earlier.
Do you think so? I was reading on For all the people that think social media is the devil, yes, it is. For all the people that think social media shouldn't exist, yeah, it probably shouldn't. I would love to go back to the 80s. I was an 80s kid. I think the 80s was one of the greatest times ever. And I'm saying that as somebody who lived through the 90s and the 2000s and the 2010s and half the 2020s.
Pre-cell phone life was awesome.
Pre-cell phone life. But there's something like really special. You can't say that the 90s didn't have cell phones. Now, yes, you could have the Don Johnson bag phone in the Ferrari Testarossa.
I like to call it the Zach Morris.
The Zach Morris bag phone. That's fine, but that was like such a small percentage of the population that it doesn't count.
Do you remember when you were cool when you had a pager? Like that was the cool thing?
Yes.
I was guilty of that. I was guilty of
I
it.
did not have a pager though.
You didn't?
I did not have a pager, but yes, I know that was cool. Real quick, before we wrap this up and start talking about these biscuits, there are people, very loud people on the Facebooks.
Correct.
In Quincy that are saying that this is some kind of sabotage, some kind of, they really want to put in the roundabout, or somebody's mad that they're not putting in the roundabout. And we've got these factions of people that really want the roundabout and some people that are very much against it. I'm actually not for it or against it. I'm just very irritated that the price went from $500,000 to $1.5 million to $2.5 million to $3.5 million to
$5 million.
To $5 million,
yeah.
Which is more expensive than the entire promenade. So, the promenade cost $4.5 million, and a little roundabout costs $5 million, supposedly.
It's crazy.
Because we're using all the wrong kinds of labor.
Apparently.
We're using all of the wrong kinds of labor to do a project like that. And yeah, I'm saying all the wrong kinds. Because if you had a private person that came in there, which I guess you're not allowed to do, or maybe you are, I have no idea. But why is the hourly wage $350 an hour?
That's unreal.
I mean, I'm kidding. That's not the price. That's not the wage.
It's got to be somewhere astronomical to come up with $5 million.
Well, I mean, how much is concrete?
You got me on. I don't know what the actual figure is.
How much is the materials? How much are the materials for the concrete to put in the roundabout?
If you put city and county workers out there to be laborers and then just bring in the concrete and have an engineer out there, why can't we do that?
So here's what I'm going to do. After this pod, I'm going to drive out to 48th and State. I'm going to pull my car over. I'm going to walk out there. I'm going to go take a look. There's Muddy River News articles all about this. I suggest people go find the Muddy River News articles, get yourself educated, and be a force for good in the community. This right here. Can you tell me about this?
Yeah, I went into Nutrition HQ. I wanted to get a Gorilla Mind drink, and I got put on these. These are little muffins. They have them in one of their coolers. Right when you walk in the door, go to the left. And if you've ever had a Biscoff cookie or Biscoff peanut butter, that's your ticket right there. This is, what is it, Buff Cough. It is phenomenally good.
So Tyler from Nutrition HQ.
Yes, great dude.
Gave these to you. I'm going to eat this thing.
Oh, no, I purchased them. He didn't give them to me.
Oh, you paid for them?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Buff Cough?
Yeah. Whenever you have this, it won't be your last. I'll put it that way.
Okay, so there's protein. It's a protein.
Correct. I'm thinking about taking a bunch down to St. Louis this weekend and give them to the kids.
Wow.
Very good.
Okay. Can you bring me one? Because I'm going to be in St. Louis with you.
Yeah, correct.
What time are you going down?
We'll go down Friday night.
Monarchy, baby.
Monarchy.
Monarchy Football Club. That's where it's at.
Traveling sports as a whole. If you have kids that are in sports, get them in a traveling sport. It's a great environment, and it's great for the kids.
I mean, club sports is pretty big right now.
It is.
Pretty big right now. And all you football fans out there, all these football fans, I'm talking about American football, they are beating the crap out of the soccer environment in Quincy. And you know what? God bless. I'm a soccer player, but the only sport I watch on TV is American football. So what does that tell you? I love American football. It's great. The Little Raiders, for example, have got like 1 billion trillion kids on their team, and they have 40 cheerleaders. Do you know about this?
No, I don't.
Do you
this
know?
This is news to me.
Dude, here's what's happening with football, and then we're going to be done here. Football, not soccer, football, even though we really should be calling soccer football, but the Americans have this way upside down.
Well, what would we call football if soccer was football?
I don't know. I don't know. We can think about that later. But you've got American football, which is one of the greatest sports in the world. You've got a situation in which the football club teams have their own cheerleaders, okay? These like 30, 40 girls, I was at QND a couple days ago, and I see all of these girls for cheerleading practice because they're going to cheer for their football team.
Okay.
How in the heck, and QND doesn't have a club soccer team. They got a club football team, but no club soccer team. Same thing with the Blue Devils. Do the Blue Devils have a club football team, right?
Correct.
Do they have a club soccer team?
Not that I'm aware
Yeah,
of.
what is going on? What is going on? And I know that Monarchy and Rush have tried to unite before, and I know that was a disaster, but someday they will when everybody gets their head out of their ass.
Yeah.
And we'll join together and love soccer and be together. And guess what we'll do? When Rush and Monarchy come together someday, unless Monarchy completely demolishes Rush, that's a completely different story, but that might happen soon. But if that does happen, Monarchy might just get their own cheerleaders.
That'd be interesting.
Be a Monarchy cheerleader.
It'd be interesting.
Right now, you and I are the cheerleaders.
Well, I got a 15-month-old. We can bring her up the realm of
God
monarchy
bless you.
cheerleaders.
Hey, thank you so much for coming on the pod. You're fantastic.
Thanks for having me.
Please say hi to your wife for me, but of course I'm going to see her in like 2 days, so no, I'll just say hi to her myself.
I'll just tell her. You remember the first time Frankie met you and had no idea who you were?
Yeah. Do it. Thanks so much.
Thank you, man.
See ya.